So hello everyone and welcome to another night of TGB1 Racing. It is season 34 and it is rounds 9 and 10 of the season. We're coming at you from the circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium for round 9 and the circuit of the Americas, COTA for short, for round 10 of the season. 25% the first race here with a full qualifying here in Belgium, followed by a 35%er with a one-shot qualifying at COTA. So getting ready to go. We've got about, 5 minutes to go in this session, 4.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. So drivers just headed in, ready to go for their final runs. I'm joined in the commentary box tonight by Jack Craig. How are you doing tonight, Jack?
I'm very well, thank you, Owen, and I'm excited to get going again for another round of TGP1. Softy currently on provisional pole. It looks a lot closer than it did the last couple of weeks that you've missed.
Yes, it does. We'll just go quickly run through the standings as we see, I think... Is that Phil going up for a lap? No, he's just coming into the pit lane. Just see if anyone's in. Anyone on an out lap? Mr. Chiapelli, just on an out lap, just come out of the pits. We'll quickly run through the championship standings while we have this lull in this session. So, Softcop is leading the championship on 160 points after 8 races, followed by Machine Fishy on 115. Casper is third on 105. Then we've got Cam in fourth on 98. And Matt Tibos rounds out the top 5 on 70 points. So you were just telling me that Softy has won the last 3 races, so he's very much in good form and very much the man to beat at the moment.
Absolutely, he is in prime form at the moment. This is what he wanted last season. He wanted the championship, he wanted number 7, and Softy's showing his true pace, but it's not come easy. He's had to fight through the field, a couple of qualifying bans and a couple of penalties here and there, a few accidents. He's got his work cut out for him tonight. It looks like Casper and Cam are going to push him all the way. Machine Ireland in 6th, he'll be wanting an improvement on that with the last runs just coming up.
Yeah, it is indeed. Pretty much everyone is on an out lap or in the pits waiting to go for that final run at the moment. There's only really a few drivers actually out on the circuit, and I think we're starting to see everyone pile out for those final runs now, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone leaving it to the last possible minute. They want the best track conditions they can get. The team's risking it. Obviously, no red flags in qualifying in the F1 games, but you don't want any yellow flags. You don't want anyone crashing ahead of you, causing you to make a mistake. As you see a couple of the front runners starting to come out now, Machine Ireland and ERT Casper coming out onto the circuit now. We've got a wee while before they start their laps. I think Mr. Giuppelli is going to be the first man to get going though.
Well, he looked like he pulled off to the side of the road, but now he's just about to fire up. So, yeah, he will be the first guy to go for a flying lap in these last runs. So we're going to watch him ride on board with the Mercedes driver, heading down towards turn 1 now. Lasource hairpin up into 7th gear and then slam on the bankers down to about 2nd or 3rd gear. Get the car tucked in nicely. He was a bit wide there on the entry. He overdid the entry there and he has a bit of trouble on the exit. But now it's the run all the way through Eau Rouge, Radion and up towards the Kemmel Straight and the chicane at the top of the hill.
And here he goes now. We'll see how much straight line speed, how little downforce is on that Mercedes. He'll get a lovely slipstream off the Ferrari, unintentional, but now this is the part of the track you want the traffic to move out of the way. Those guys heating up their tyres for their preparation lap, but they need to move out of Mr. Giuppelli's way. Obviously former TGP2 champion, not had much success in recent years in TGP1, looking to make up for that. Plenty of positions he can make up in the rear end of this grid. It's looking good so far for car number 8, the Mercedes, as he comes down the hill now towards the descent. Probably get some dirty air of the cars ahead. They move to the right to try and get out of his way. He'll get a nice slipstream just before he'll brake as late as he possibly can, just after the 50-metre board. He doesn't really connect with the apex. He does on that left-hand turn there, and now you want to ride as much curb as the game will allow you without spinning on the left-hand side. Goes a wee bit wide, but he's improving by 1 second on his lap, so it should be enough to put him up a few positions, not really troubling the top 10 at the moment. No, Mr. Giuppelli get a nice slipstream, hopefully no DRS in this part of the circuit. He'll use all of that battery in the back of the Mercedes. Obviously Mercedes not the best car at the moment in Formula 1, but what will it be for Mr. Giapelli round the final corner? He goes, he'll open up the DRS for a tiny wee boost, and it's looking like it's going to be a 1.4 second improvement, but not enough to move him anywhere near the top 10, but into P14 for a final point if he finishes that way in the session.
So the first of the big contenders on a flying lap is Machine Island. He's just coming towards Puon now, flicking it through his Red Bull machine. What's he going to do towards the end of Sector 2? Followed up by Casper, I believe, is very much getting towards crunch time in this qualifying session, as we see the checkered flag is now out through the chicane. Just got the 2 Stavlos, and we'll see his Sector 2 time. Is he improving? He is 2 tenths up on his previous best as he heads towards the final chicane now.
And here he goes, what will be his lap time. It's his final run in qualifying. He's around about 9 tenths off the pace at the moment of Softy. Not where you expect someone who, if there was going to be a challenge for the title, it would be him up there. Currently P2 in the standings. He's had a wee bit of a moment round the final couple of corners. He'll open the DRS one final time, and what will it be for Machine Island? Only 7th fastest.
Casper's binned it, so that's him out of the running. Kai, what's he going to do now? He spun at the exit of Stavlo. Kai is a 10th and a half up on his previous best. That could move him up a couple of positions. Be interested to see where he goes now. Just got a couple more corners to go. Head towards Blanchimont and then the final chicane before he finishes this flying lap. It is Williams got the bus stop chicane. Crucial getting right here as we flick in one way, flick in the other way. What's his time going to be? Is he going to improve? Dan the man puts himself up to 3rd place. Meanwhile, Kai only goes up into 5th. What's his teammate doing? He's not too far behind him on the road, puts himself up into 2nd place. Softy coming around the final corner now in the Aston Martin. Is he going to extend his pole position margin? Yes, he does, with a 40.9. Curb stomps the field, and it's only really Phil Bardwell left of the big contenders. What's he going to do?
Improving.
Is he going to... is improved, and he's gone to a 41.7, puts himself nicely into the top 5, and that is it. He was the last car across the line, so there is your pole sitter, Softgop, on a 40.9, going half a second quicker than Cam and Casper.
Interesting to see that the guys other than Softy and Phil Bardwell didn't really make much time on that final run. The kind of the guys you would expect to be up there towards the end weren't kind of up there. Dan the man obviously made a big improvement. Phil was about 3 tenths quicker. Jack Hickey sneaked up the order towards the end, but not the improvement towards the end of the session you'd normally expect.
Yeah, I've just seen a comment pop in from your brother, Lewis Craig, who's he ran out of fuel on his last attempt, so that was clever of him.
Well, Haas just showing why they are the worst team in Formula 1.
Yeah, that was not the greatest strategy call there from Ayo Komitsu and the boys there at Haas. So, here is your qualifying results. Softy in the Aston Martin, half second quicker of Cam, and that is your front row. Casper is in 3rd, Dan the man in 4th, then we've got Phil Bardwell in 5th, Kai in 6th, Jack Hickey in 7th, Matt Tibbott in 8th, Machine Island in 9th, and then Wet Lemons rounds out the top 10. Dan Morris in 11th, Aidan Griffin's 12th, then we've got Nell Jack in 13th, Alistair Bain 14th, Dom Smith 15th, Chris Johnson in 16th, Lewis Craig 17th, Mr. Chiapelli 18th, Cuman 19th, and Court with his qualifying ban will start at the back of the grid. So 11 laps to come round this Belgium Grand Prix circuit, the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in, Belgium, as we get ready to go for 11 laps. What are your thoughts going into this race?
I believe it's 15 laps, so maybe the strategies will be a bit different compared to previous races. It does look a bit cloudy, but it looks dry.
It'd be a 25%, so surely that'd be 11 laps.
I think it's seen 15, maybe it is 11, maybe I'm wrong, but I have seen from the Haas pit crew, it's a 25% chance of rain, but coming from their fuel strategy, maybe not the best to take advice from them, but I'm expecting Softy to dominate this race just as he has in previous seasons.
Yeah, they've been buying their sensors off Timu, I think, Haas, for this Grand Prix. Their weather is saying 25%, but they can't even fill up a car properly, so yeah, don't buy stuff off Timu. As we get ready
Especially
to go.
if it's on a girl's Instagram story.
There's something to divulge into that, but now's probably not the time for it. As we wait to go for this race here, the lights are coming on here in Belgium. We've got 5 lights on here And lights out and away we go, and it is 15 and I'm blind as a bat. As we get ready to go, it looks like a decent start from the front row from Softy. Gets round Casper, diving up the inside of Cam. There's a bit of squirreling in the background, but everyone makes it through turn one nice and clean. Softy in the lead, heading towards Eau Rouge. Then we've got Casper, Cam, and down the man, Phil Bardrell. That is your top five. As we see Cam all over the back of Softy. He's looking to the outside. He's going to try and make the move round the outside towards the Lacombe chicane. Is he going to be able to make it stick? Yes, he is. Round the outside, and Cam is your race leader. Softy has to settle into second place. They've got Casper third, Dan the man in fourth, and then Phil Bardrell in fifth.
That is not the start Softy would have wanted. Obviously, you know the risks of starting in P1 in this Grand Prix. The straight line speed and slipstream you get coming up the Kemmel Straight just helps that car behind so much. The top eight all on the medium tyres. Machine Ireland on the hards. He's going for the mixed strategy. He'll be on great softs towards the end of this Grand Prix. And look how close Phil Bardrell is to the back of Dan the man. He's been impressive so far this season, Phil Bardrell. Matt Tibbles as well, he's also been impressive on the back of Jack Hickey. What can he do as we get ready for the second lap of the Belgian Grand Prix, and what can Softy do now? He's about 5 tenths back.
He is. He's chasing down the Williams driver. Just want to clarify, this is the 35% distance race, 15 laps round here, 25% distance race at Kota. Just want to do a quick bit of housekeeping there, as Dan the man is all over the back of Casper now, heading towards the bus stop chicane. He's going to look to the outside. Is he going to try and make it move? He's going to have the inside for the second apex. Casper's going to try and give him the squeeze. They're going to be side by side on the exit, a bit wheel bagging on the exit. They're still side by side. What's going to be the verdict? He has to slot him behind him. Phil Bardrell's now looking up the inside of Dan the man, but he slots him behind. Cam is your leader, Softy from Casper, and Cam is actually pulling a little bit of advantage at the moment.
Yeah, Softy's actually under pressure from the Alpine of Casper behind. The man that won both races in week 2. What can he do this time around as we come up the hill now? No DRS until the next lap. Softy is in danger of losing not first but second this time around. Not often he does that, but it doesn't look like Casper is going to have the straight line speed, which seems to have been a problem we've noticed. He's had a lot this season compared to the Aston Martin Softy speed. Kai is looking very racy as well in P6 behind Phil. Yeah,
just going to have a quick tyre update. Pretty much a majority of the field has started on the medium tyres. There's only a couple of sessions. Machine Island, who's dropped a few places from the start, he started on the hards. Mr. Chiapelli starting on the softs, and Court at the back of the field is also on those hard tyres in this race.
Yeah, I believe Court's made a pit stop. That is why he's on the hard tyres. He was obviously had a qualifying ban. He's been very impressive this season. Didn't have a great week last week, but he's had a very good season so far. Casper, though, he's sticking right to the back of that Aston Martin ahead in soft cop. What can he do to put pressure on the current championship leader? Cam not pulling away as much as he was earlier on in the session, but he currently has a wee bit of a gap to Softy at the moment. But with DRS coming on this next lap, it might not be this way the next time we come to this part.
It might not be that way indeed. Heading towards the bus stop chicane, the top 3 pretty much nose to tail. Dan the man just lurking in the background as well in that Alfa Romeo, but it's still Cam leading, Softy second and Casper in third. Casper setting the fastest lap of the race so far with a 44.7 into towards the La Source hairpin they go, and powering out. DRS will be enabled this time round, so the drivers have to have that to their disposal down that very long back straight, the Kemmel Straight here, and Cam is getting reeled in a little bit by Softy. Softy's had a good run down through Eau Rouge and Radion. He's going to look to the inside. Is he going to get the move done before he even gets to the chicane? Yes, he does. Gets the move done. He's up into the lead of the race. Cam back down to second place, and Casper just about held off Dan the man there, and it's Phil Bardrell in fifth.
Yeah, it's good work from Softy getting back into the lead of the Grand Prix with the use of DRS. Is it Casper's turn now to get past Cam? Cam, obviously the defending champion, not had the greatest of title defences so far, but it has been improving as the weeks go by. Not many moves happening further down the order just yet. That DRS train seems to have formed till about Lewis Craig. This seems to be the first one without any DRS assistance at the moment. Phil Bardrell, he's stuck very well to the back of Dan the man, who's obviously struggling to get past Casper. He almost made the move on lap number 1, but now it is Cam's turn to make a move on Softy, using a bit of the battery, keeping his battery compared to previous races. He's actually done well to manage that. Casper as well, he's not going to be wanting to settle for P3 as we come round to begin lap number 4. And Cam actually looks very tasty into the bus stop chicane. He's right on the back. He won't need DRS at this part of the track, but Softy slams the door shut. And it's beautiful car placement from the Aston Martin.
Yeah, it is indeed. Cam all over the back of the Aston Martin Casp. Well, to be honest, we've got a nice little train forming. The top 10 are pretty much all within DRS. We've got a DRS train. I think the nearest person that isn't within a second of someone is Lewis Craig, is more than a second behind Dan Morris. So the top 12 are pretty much within the same camera shot at the moment. Got to ride on board with Cam up Eau Rouge and Radion. He's definitely got the run up there this time round. He's going to have the DRS. Softy is a bit of a sitting duck at the front of this train here in the Aston Martin. He's going to have to go to the outside. Softy defends the inside. Is Softy going to try and outbrake him? No, they've swapped positions. Cam back in the lead and Softy down to second place.
Well, we could be seeing this for the majority of the Grand Prix, swapping until the pit stop kind of phases. Everyone should be pitting around about the same lap. Obviously, with the top 8 all been on the same tyre compound. Lewis Craig made up 4 positions, maybe struggling to keep up with the faster guys in the park. Obviously, Darren Morris, Nathan Griffiths ahead. But look how close it seems to be. Casper closer to Softy this time around. But that DRS that he can get on the Williams and the straight line speed that Softy seems to be able to run, less downforce than everyone else, maybe better at controlling the car under pressure. But Softy now can't let Cam get away, as there seems to be a wee bit of a gap, getting to about 6 tenths this time. Softy running a wee bit wide, but seems to have that battery charged at 100%, so plenty of battery to use down the Kemmel Straight to get back ahead of Cam.
Yeah, they are. So we finish heading towards the end of another lap. All the top 12 are pretty much still all line astern. Bit of dicing further back, as actually Wet Lemons has dropped a little bit off the back of this train now, and that is causing Aiden to be all over the back of him in the battle for 10th and 11th place, bottom end of the points. But focusing up the front now, as we see Casper with DRS. So Softy, there's a second DRS straight from in towards the source. That doesn't really do much other than get you within touching reach of the driver in front, going towards Eau Rouge and Radion. So we have Softy 4.5 tenths back, but closing, getting a good run up. Radion now overtake on in the Aston Martin, DRS wide open, and again it's going to be the same as last time, swapping positions. This is becoming quite an occurring theme between these two drivers. Follow each other for a lap, pass each other at the end of the Kemmel Straight, and then follow the other one for a lap, vice versa.
Casper just got to sit and bide his time, manages tyres, manages fuel. He's not under too much pressure from Dan Le Mans since lap number 1, and it looks like Casper might be wanting to make that move for P2. Down the hill he goes, not going to quite be a place to make a move into Pouon at the moment. But Casper just needs to keep a level head and keep the pressure on these guys, making sure that these guys can't make a mistake, otherwise it's going to cost them. Dan Le Mans is now past Wet Lemons, who seems to have had a wee bit of a moment coming down the hill and into Pouon, as Aiden's also passed them there. Casper though, he's keeping up with these guys, trying to pull away from Dan Le Mans. There seems to be a wee bit of a gap forming between P4 at the moment. They'll want to break that DRS. It gives them a wee bit of insurance that it's just a battle between those three for the win.
Yeah, it will indeed. As we see Cam all over the back of Softy once again. He's not going to try and move into the bus stop. He's probably going to be the same scenario again. We're going to be having a move in towards the Kemmel Straight. So, finishing another lap, we start lap number 6 here at Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps. And into the source area, Cam basically pushing Softy into the corner there. He was that close. They basically, a bit of string attached to his gearbox, and it weren't a very long piece as we head towards Eau Rouge and Radion once again in this Grand Prix. Again, overtake on the Williams. Is Softy got enough of a gap to be able to hold on this time round? He has got a bit slightly bigger gap. Is he going to have to make a move this time round? Cam thinks better of it, and that is the first time I think all race that we've not had a position swap for the lead into the chicane at the end of the Kemmel Straight, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. Cam didn't have as good as run as we've seen previously on that hill at the
Oh,
radio. Who's made a
Casper
mistake there?
definitely ran wide there. It weren't just me. Casper ran wide behind the back of Cam, and he's got Dan the Man all over the back of him. Not really sure what line he was trying to take. He was trying to do a bit of rally crossing by the looks of it, but now he's dropped a little bit off the back of the front too.
Yeah, Casper maybe feeling the pressure himself in P3, taking his eye off the ball. Dan the Man, though, he is one. He's not going to say no to an opportunity as Casper runs a wee bit wide there at the end of sector number 2, trying to catch back up to these guys as the gap's got to about 7/10 of a second. And Speed Kai down in P15, he's made the first legitimate pit stop inside the top 10. He's gone from mediums to hards. Maybe some data collecting for Williams for Cam at the front.
Yeah, definitely some data collecting. Casper's again ran deep, getting all over the back of Cam, cost himself time, and as he got DRS, he has still just about got DRS as we head towards the end of another lap. We're about halfway through this Grand Prix, and still we can't separate this top 9. There's a few drivers heading to the pit lane now, including Machine Island, who started on those hard tyres.
Yep, he's gone to the mediums till the end of the Grand Prix. Now it's Cam's turn on the back of Softy. It's a much better run at the hill, and it should be a slam dunk move, but Softy got to try fight it, but just not got enough speed. And Cam regains the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. Casper not able to put the pressure he has on previous laps. He seems like Dan the Man is trying to force his way into podium contention at the moment. Phil Bargewell and everyone, all the way down to Dan Morris, who's about 7 seconds back, are trying their best to hold on to this DRS train. And who is going to blink first in the top 7 for the pit stops to go onto the soft tyres?
So yeah, that is the question indeed. We got Casper in third, Dan the Man fourth. The top 5 has pretty much stayed fairly consistent all race. There's been a little bit of lead changing up the front, but behind, not really any position swaps happening behind. I think the fact that they've all been in each other's DRS meant that everyone's getting DRS off the car in front, so they've been not able to swap positions except those guys right at the front of this pack. As we finish another lap heading through Blanchimont, is there any takers to the pit lane this time round, Jack?
We will see. Williams maybe the first ones to get ready, maybe force Softy into the pits, or maybe try an undercut. We'll ask them. Aaron. Cam stays out, Softy is in.
Yeah, so Softy is the first of that lead group into the pit lane. Jack Hickey also into the pit lane as well, so that kind of spreads them out a little bit. Phil Bardwell running in 4th place now on the road is the closest man to making a move. He's getting closer to the back of Dan the Man, but he's just hanging on to the back of this DRS train.
Yeah, and Casper is in real danger at the moment. That DRS is now broken. He should get it down this straight because he was close enough at the line. He does. He will get it this lap, but if he can't get back into that 1 second gap, he could be in trouble coming out of the pit lane. Calm now. This needs to be the in-lap of his life to stay ahead of Softy, who I do believe has some fresh air. 6.6 seconds ahead is Dan Morris of Softy, but Softy on those fresh rubber. What can he do to try and use that undercut to his advantage? He was very close, obviously less than 5/10 behind the Williams, so it's going to have to be a very good stop from Cam to get back out ahead of Softy. You wouldn't expect him to be able to do that. He is keeping that advantage over Casper though, who also needs to get a move on because he could be out of this battle come the end of this pit stop phase.
Yeah, he could indeed. So they've started to make their pit stops. They have started to spread out a bit this field now. Not everyone's sitting in DRS. In fact, the only people in DRS at the moment in the top 10 is Phil Bardwell is in Dan the Man's DRS, as we see a retirement there for Wet Lemons. He's made a mistake on the exit of the Bruxelles hairpin. That is turn number 10, and he's put it in the wall. I don't think there'll be a safety car for that. As we see, Phil Bardwell into the pit lane. Everyone into the pit lane of that group, apart from Dan the Man. So be very interested to see where they come out compared to the Soft Cop. Soft Cop just entering the bus stop chicane now on his brand new soft tyres, pounding out the pit lane. And where is he gonna be? You can see Kai just lurking in the background as well. So here's the Soft Cop just entering the Lasource hairpin. Machine Island, quickest man on the circuit at the moment. And I think he has comfortably got this lead, hasn't he? Yes, he has. And Kai's jumped Wow, there's a few jumping there. Cam is just in front of his teammate, and very close. Kai is the biggest gainer, I think, so far.
Yeah, the undercut has served the Williams guys well. At the moment, he's got DRS, and he's using a bit of that battery to try and maybe keep up with his teammate. Might not be able to make the overtake this time around. You wouldn't expect them to try and make a move anytime soon. Maybe a rear gunner action going to be coming from Williams to try and protect Cam for as long as they possibly can. Machine Ireland has also jumped Casper with the time penalty, and obviously Casper being on fresh softs should be able to get past these guys, but it's how long can Kai and Machine Ireland hold up Casper and maybe force him to drop out of contention for the race win. Cam 1.6 seconds back behind Softy, maybe taking that extra lap, costing him at the moment, but you would expect a lap fresher rubber, especially around a circuit like Spa, to come into a factor towards the end of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, meanwhile we have another time from this Grand Prix. Court Gill is out of the race. But yeah, bad weekend for the Dutchman. Basically a home Grand Prix, apart from the Dutch Grand Prix, where he's had that qualifying ban and now he's DNF'd in the race. Meanwhile, Casper getting closer and closer to the back of Machine Island. Machine Island getting closer and closer to the back of Speed Car. We've got a great battle brewing before. Dan the Man is peeled into the pit lane, so it'll be interesting to see where he peels out. Machine Island looking to the outside, into the bus stop. Is he going to sweep around the outside? Yes, he does. And then Casper's going to stick it up the inside as well. He's stuck it right up the inside of Kai, and he's going to be side by side heading towards the LaSource hairpin. Is he going to try and hang it around the outside? Yes, he does. Gets the move done, and he's up into P4. Kai losing 2 positions in as many corners.
Yeah, disaster for Kai. Those hard tyres not doing what he needed him to do. It got them into good track position, so now he just needs to try and hold on from Jack Hickey and Phil Bardwell behind. But look how close Casper is now to the back of Machine Ireland. That gap is coming down. It's tumbling. He moves to the right hand side of the circuit, and Kai's going to try and make a move down the inside as well. What will he do? And Kai, they're so close to making contact. The Machine Ireland forces him wide, and in the background there you see Phil Bardwell overtake former TGP1 champion Jack Hickey to retake 6th place, and now he's got to charge down Speed Kai and try and get his P5 back.
Yeah, so Casper on those soft tyres should be able to run off into the distance. Machine Island's put great strategy call from him, starting on those hards, going to those mediums, and he's gained 5 positions in the process of doing that. He's now up into the 4th place, and now Kai, I think, is going to be a bit of a sitting duck on those hard tyres.
Yeah, Kai is going to just tumble towards the end of this Grand Prix. He's got to try and hold on for as long as he can and score some good points for the Williams guys. They are quite high in the championship, in the constructors at the moment, but Phil Bardwell is fancying a top 5 and maybe even a top 4, because Machine Ireland, obviously that time penalty, he's going to lose a few positions come the end of the Grand Prix, and Phil Bardwell, he is looking very racy tonight, but that DRS that Speed Kai's going to get maybe a little bit of protection. Cam has got that gap down to about 1.1 seconds, but he can't quite get in to the DRS at the moment and has absolutely no battery as Casper sets the fastest lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. What can Casper do towards the end of the last couple of laps? And Cam is now finally back in that DRS, but won't have it going at the Kemmel Straight on lap 11.
Yeah, meanwhile Phil Bardwell all over the back of Kai. Kai all over the back of Machine Island, but Kai, you can see the blinking light on that Williams. He's not got much airs. Plenty of hers for the Ferrari man. He's going to try and slide it in the middle. He's basically pushing Kai through and getting that move done. A bit of NASCAR bump drafting, getting 2 positions. Kai's going to try and hang it around the outside, but Phil Bardwell gets the move done. Double overtake from Phil Bardwell, and he puts himself up into P4. Kai down up into 5th. Machine Island losing 2 places, and Dan the Man's lurking in the background as well, along with Jack Hickey and Matt Tibos. Great scrap going on for 4th position.
Absolutely, Dan the Man just pulled off a wonderful move on Jack Hickey into the chicane there as well, and he is wanting a bit of action for P4 at the moment. He needs to get ahead of the Red Bull of Machine Island. Phil Bardwell, a lovely double overtake. He needs to use these guys behind him as buffers for as long as he can. He needs to use those softs to his advantage and get ahead. Not often do the Ferrari guys get the strategy right, but it seems to be working for Phil at the moment. The Red Bull of Machine Island is absolutely struggling through the end of Sector 2. Dan the Man, what can he do coming into the bus stop chicane at the end of this straight? He might not even have to use the bus stop chicane, he might get the move done before then, but the Red Bull trying to defend as best as he can. He's also going to try and make a move on Speed Kai around the outside. That's going to turn to the inside. If he can use that, he'll try and push the Williams wide, but the Williams pushes him wide, and Dan the Man going to try and go around the outside. He'll open a DRS, he'll use a bit of the battery. What can he do against the Williams? This is for P5 and a chance at P4, but he's not quite close enough. It's Jack Hickey now down the inside of the Red Bull Eagles, and Matt Tibos is wanting a bit of that action.
I'm going to have to interrupt you because there's going to be an overtake for the lead shortly as well. DRS wide open on the Williams. Softy is a bit of a sitting duck once again in the straight. He tries to hang it around the outside, squeezing his way against the wall. Cam into the lead, Softy down to second place, and the battle continues further back. There's 3 wide, it looks like. It's absolute chaos down towards the chicane at the end of the Kemmel Straight. Dan the Man, Jack Hickey, Matt Tibos, Machine Island and Kai is how they leave that chicane, and somehow they haven't had an accident.
Dan the Man, Jack Hickey and Matt Tibbles doing what they needed to do. They got those guys out the way and forcing Machine Island further out of this battle for the championship, and it seems to be the DRS is all but evaporated. It's going to be Matt Tibos, the closest man on track at the moment. Not Summer, you can kind of make a move though down into Puon. Speed Kai is now down the inside of Machine Island. He goes, Machine Island is absolutely struggling, and that great strategy call that we were talking about earlier has just dropped him all the way back down to 9th, so he's not really gained any positions there. And Matt Tibos behind Jack Hickey, he's wanting to make that move sooner rather than later, but Softy now, it's his turn to try and retake the lead of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think it is. We're just going to ride on board with Matt Tibos now, the Haas driver, 7th, trying to get that 6th place. Meanwhile, further up the field, Cam and Softy are getting closer and closer. Is Matt Tibos going to make a move into the bus stop chicane? No, he thinks better of it. I think he's probably going to wait for the DRS straight in that Haas. Meanwhile, further up the field, Softy and Cam once again resuming battle with 3 laps to go in this Grand Prix here at Spa. Down through Eau Rouge and up towards Radion they go. Wide open will the DRS be shortly. You can see the blinking light, and that's going to fill Softy with a bit of confidence, although he's not going to be close enough really to make a move this time round. No, he's not. So we're going to go further back, see if Matt Tibos could do anything about Jack Hickman in front of him in the McLaren. He's closing, he's closing, he's closing, he's closing, he's closing, he's closing, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, coming, and he's not going to get him.
Dan the Man slipped down the inside of Phil Barsville for P4, just ahead at the moment. Phil had a great Grand Prix so far, so he's going to try and push Dan the Man through these last 2.5 laps towards the end of the Grand Prix. But Softy, maybe feeling a bit of confidence seeing that Christmas tree blinking on the back of that Williams, but he needs to get the move done, and he's not quite close enough at the moment to have a chance down the Kemmel Straight, but you'll imagine he will get a bit closer with the DRS as well on the start-finish straight. Phil, he's got to try and do the same as Softy. He's got to stay within touching distance of Dan the Man ahead. Matt Tibos as well, he's got to do that with Speed Kai in the background as well. He's still in the DRS of these guys, so he's got a chance of maybe sticking P6 at the moment. But Softy now, 4 tenths is the gap. He's a lot closer than he was previously. He just needs a good run through the start of Sector 1.
He does indeed. So coming out of the bus stop, 2 laps to go here in this Grand Prix for round 9 of the TGP1 season. Coming into La Source now, Softy, DRS wide open on that Aston Martin. He's going to hope to be a bit closer this time round, heading through Eau Rouge and Radion. But again, that blast that Cam just seems to get out of La Source is helping him massively. Get a good run up Eau Rouge and Radion, and it's... yes, meaning he's just out of touch in distance for Softy. So Softy, again, not going to be close enough this time round into the chicane to make a move. What about Dan the Man and Phil Bardrell? Chris Johnson has disconnected from the session, but meanwhile, is Phil going to make a move down the inside? No, he isn't, but further back, Matt Tibos thinking about it on Jack Hickman. Again, no dice for him, as we see Kai making his way through the chicane as well. So we've got plenty of 2x2 battles going on around this circuit in the closing stages of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, Casper is the only man that seems to be in a world of his own at the moment. At PV, and he's actually gone off, and he's managed to save it. Casper almost had a trip to the barrier, and well, if he thought his podium was secure, that would have raised the heartbeat there for the moment. But Softy now, he's 8 tenths back on Cam. Is Softy's chance of making it 4 in a row slipping away towards the end of the Grand Prix? It looks like the reigning TGP1 champion has got it in the bag for now, but Softy closing that gap. What can he do as we get towards the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix? What an entertaining Grand Prix it has been. But it's one lap to decide the winner.
Oh!
And Cam's round!
Cam is round. He was feeling the pressure coming onto this final lap. He made a mistake. He's probably cost himself the victory. Softy didn't even need to do anything. He just needed to be the Dale Earnhardt of TGP and be the intimidator. He intimidated Cam into a mistake, and he's got himself into the lead of the race. Cam is going to have DRS though, but is he going to have the urge to be able to do anything? He's not even going to have DRS. He's too far back. So I think that one's good night, Mary. That is finished. Finito, that battle. Battle for P4 is still raging on though between Dan the Man and Phil Bardrell. Phil Bardrell going to have the DRS wide open, but again, I don't think he's close enough. Meanwhile, someone who is close enough is Matt Tibos, looking to the outside of the chicane. Gets it, breezes past his Jack Hickman, and that is him up into 6th place. Kai getting Machine Island as well. This battle raging on between the Red Bull and the Williams driver. But yeah, that was drama. Cam made a mistake and he's cost himself the victory.
Yeah, we've had plenty of accidents before in title battles in TGP1. Obviously, Khalifa did the famous spin on the line towards the end. It wasn't quite as close for Cam, but what a disaster. He's lost the Grand Prix in the die moments as Phil picks up a time penalty which could cost him P5. But it looks like it's going to be Softy's night, and again the stars just align for the Aston Martin in what a commentator's curse kind of told him he wasn't going to win 4 in a row. He's proved me wrong. It looks like it will be 4. And Phil Bardwell, it looks like he's going to drop to P6. So another good result it could be for Matt Tibbles as we get to the final couple of corners now for Softy.
Yeah, so Softy entering the bus stop chicane for the final time in this Grand Prix. He flicks it one way, flicks it the other way, and the Aston Martin driver makes it 4 in the row, and he wins the TGP1 Belgium Grand Prix. Cam is going to come over in 2nd, and Casper is going to round out the podium. Dan the Man is 3rd. Phil Bardrell, is he going to have enough of a time gap over Matt Tibos? And the answer is no, so Matt Tibos is up into P5. Phil Bardrell knocked down to P6. Then we've got Hickman in 7th. Speed Kai in 8th, Machine Island in 9th, and it looks like Aiden's going to get himself into the final top 10 spot. But that was a very exciting Grand Prix. It was a slow burner. It was a bit of a DRS train fest in the first half of the race. But once the pit stops happened, the race kind of ignited into life.
Yeah, it was a great Belgian Grand Prix. It was kind of a slugfest at the beginning before the pit stop phases, but towards the end of the Grand Prix we got some entertainment, and Cam, absolute disaster, not managing to hold on for the win. Casper was kind of in a race of his own after the pit stop phases. He had a moment at Pouon, but he managed to keep it on the road and hold on to that podium position. Dan the Man and Matt Tibbles and even Phil, another great result for those guys in 4th, 5th and 6th. Speed Kai, he'll be happy with P8, keeping Williams in that battle for the constructors with Red Bull and Aston Martin, but Softy manages to do it again, 4 in a row for the hopeful 7-time TGP1 champion.
Yes, it's his 4th victory in a row for the Aston Martin driver. He already had a bit of a comfortable lead at the top of the championship standings as he's extended that here in the first race of the night. He gets out onto the podium with Cam and Casper, and he celebrates yet another victory here in Belgium. But we've still got another race tonight. He could make it 5 in a row, or are we going to find ourselves with the first new winner in a little while in TGP1? So the champagne is spraying here in Belgium, and here are the final results. Softcop is your race victor in the Aston Martin. Then we have Cam in 2nd in the Williams after spinning, going through the bus stop on the penultimate lap. Then we've got Casper in 3rd, Dan the Man in 4th place, and Matt Tibos in 5th. Then we've got Phil Bardrell in 6th, Jack Hickey in 7th, and Speed Kai in 8th. Machine Island played a track position, cool, tried to get himself further up with track position, a bit of strategy, ended up finishing exactly where he started, down in 9th. Aiden in 10th. They've got Dan Morris in 11th, Lewis Craig in 12th, Mr. Chiapelli in 13th, and rounding out the points is Dom Smith in 14th. Alistair Bain in 15th, Nettlejack in 16th, Chris Johnson in 17th, Cuman in 18th, and then we have the DNFers of Courtgill and Wet Lemons. So, like I said, it was a bit of a slow burner, that race. It was a bit of a strategic chess match in the first half of the race, and then the pit stops happened, and everyone kind of took the gloves off and went for it after that.
Definitely, as we get ready for the United States Grand Prix, one-shot qualifying with 14 laps. It should be a medium soft or a soft medium. The man that won this race last season not here, so it could be anyone's opportunity to pick up 25 match-needed points unless you're softy. Calm finished second here last season. He'll be hoping to improve on that. Should have won in Spa. So he's got to try and correct things this time around. But one-shot qualifying, always a pain in the backside to try and keep up with who's leading there.
Yeah, I think the best way with this one is just follow someone for a lap and see where it ends up at the end. So we're just in the lull between the two races now. Just waiting for the settings to be changed. The drivers to get a few drinks down them, replenish themselves, just get ready to go for another race of TGB1. One-shot qualifying here in Kota, and then a 14-lap race, so 25% distance for this one, rather than the last race, which is what I thought initially.
A wee bit of a mix-up for this season with the track. It's never easy, always changing, but Machine Ireland, he had a disappointing Belgium Grand Prix. He finished in P9, so he, for his title hopes, seem to be slipping away towards the halfway stage of the season. He needs a big improvement to try and get back in that battle that looks to be set for P2 now between Calm, Casper and Machine Ireland. Softy seems to have pulled away to a gap that, if he does race every week, shouldn't be catchable for the guys behind. Dan the man, though, he had an impressive race. P4, he obviously got the podium last season in Texas. He'll be one to watch out for as well in this Grand Prix. But it's just kind of at that stage where we're getting ready to get going again. But Court Gill, he can do qualifying this time. He's had an impressive season when he has started towards the front. Maybe he'll be able to help his teammate out towards that podium battle.
Yeah, so like I said, waiting to go for another race, and we're going fairly sharpish actually here in TGB1, round 10 of the season of season 41. We're at the Circuit of Americas, just outside of Austin, Texas.
Yeah, the guys want to get going. They want to get their barbecues fired afterwards. As we finally get loaded up, the guys will need their setups on. We don't want anyone forgetting and having a long race.
Yeah, they want to get their Texas barbecues going after this race. Is admittedly in the UK, it's not very much the weather for a barbecue at the moment. It's wet where I am in the country. I don't know about you.
We've got hailstones, so that is always fun. There is absolutely zero chance of a barbecue in Scotland until at least the last day of July.
Yes, and you'll be able to do it for a whole maybe 3 hours.
If we're lucky.
Yeah. So yeah, who do you think we should ride on board with? Should we go with the man who has won the last 4 Grand Prix? Ride on board with him and see how he tackles this circuit here at Kota.
Well, let's try and put in a bit of extra pressure on Softy to see if he can bottle pole position. Odds on he won't.
I thought we were impartial commentators. How dare you say he bottles it? We need to be impartial. This is the job.
We also want it to be entertaining until the death.
Yes, Softy, please bottle it.
We wouldn't mind watching another P19 to first. Hopefully he can't do that though.
Yeah, right. I've just got to find him on my screen. There he is. I have found him and we're ready to go. So take us through a lap of this Circuit of the Americas.
Rising up the hill we go. Brake as late as you possibly can. Rotate the car. Use as much curb as you can. Try and avoid the curb on the exit. Now through the lovely S section where it makes or breaks your lap. You either invalidate or go slow and you lose so much time, and it looks absolutely beautiful from Softy at the moment. It should be purple in sector 1, but he has a wee bit of a moment coming through the final S part there, and he needs to avoid track limits. That is where one of the more dangerous places on the track. There's a few corners where that is very hard. Brake at the 50-metre board, rotate the car again, just like in turn 1, as much as you can. It's practically 90 degrees, and I hope you've got your dark visor on, because the sun is absolutely scorching in your eyes. The retinas are burnt, but Softy draining that battery down the back straight. This is where you're going to see most of the overtakes in the Grand Prix. He'll use the exit curve, and he has a wee bit of a moment. It's not been a very clean lap from the Sovkov at the moment. Maybe the sun affecting him, not the commentator's curse. Round through the lovely kind of stadium-ish section here now at Kota, round the swooping triple kind of right-hander, where it is easy to lose the car on the exit. Now, turn 19. This is another place where track limits are bad, but Softy manages to keep it on the island. Round the final corner he goes. He loses the back end again a wee bit, and it is enough for P2, but Cam takes pole position.
Yeah, Cam has taken pole position. We've seen it pop up at the end there. I had the timings off there because it's just a hot mess in these one-shot qualifying sessions. So we'll give you a full rundown now we've finished riding on board with the soft cop. Cam is your pole sitter with a 132.6, Softy in second. Then we got Machine Island in third, Casper in fourth, and Jack Hickman rounding out the top five. We've got Matt Tibos in sixth, Phil Bardrow in seventh, then Kai in eighth, Aidan Griffiths in ninth, and Lewis Craig in 10th. Good qualifying for him. Then we've got Mr. Chiapelli in 11th, Wet Levens 12th, Court back from his qualifying ban in 13th, just pipping Dom Smith to 14th. Then we have Chris Johnson, Cuban, Dan Morris, Dan the Man, Neljak, and Alistair Bain, all not setting times in this qualifying session.
Disaster for those guys towards the back. Dan the Man looked like someone that could possibly challenge for this Grand Prix. Not likely in P18. It will need a master drive from him. But as we get ready to go now for the Texas, obviously Kota Grand Prix, what can this race enthrall? And it's pouring rain.
Well, yeah, that is one thing it will do. It's a very wet Texas. It's looking like the outside in the UK at the moment in Texas. So nice to see it's representative.
Well, maybe a commentator's curse for New Zealand Cam, a commentator's curse for Softy in qualifying, and I think I've just ruined everyone's barbecues after the Grand Prix. Yeah. I don't think there's going to be much happening after this Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think maybe it may be a trip on a sailboat, maybe, rather than a trip on a barbecue. So getting ready to go. Drivers making their final tweaks. Now it's a wet race here at Kota. So I don't know if it's going to dry up or not, but looking at how heavily it's raining currently, I'd say no.
Well, the safety car for this Grand Prix is on.
So, yes, 5 lights are on here in Kota, and the lights are out, and away we go. And they're on those wet tyres now. We're struggling to get away. We just see steam and smoke and spray. That's the one I was looking for as we head towards turn 1. Cam holding it around the outside. I think he's just about held on. Is there a spinner towards the back? Yes, there is. Yeah, I think Dan the Man has had a spin, unfortunately. They're sliding their way into the S's. Cam is leading from Softy. Then we've got Casper and Machine Island 3rd and 4th. Matt Tibos in 5th. Jack Hickey 6th and Kai in 7th place as we head towards the end of Sector 1 now. So it's going to be a very interesting race here at Kota.
What a start it was from Cam, managing to hold on to his lead at the moment. Matt Tibos made up 2 places. There's guys further back that have made up 5 places. Mr. Giapelli, who had a great qualifying in P8, got absolutely collected. There was nothing he could do as Phil Bargeville down the inside of Jack Hickey. He goes, forces him wide, and Jack Hickey is not going to be happy with that. A speed Kai and Aidan Griffin's picking up positions as well here with the accidents, and it's absolutely impossible to see with the spray. Kai's going to try and make a move on Aidan for P8 at the moment. Down the inside, Aidan goes defensive at the moment, but Kai trying to force his way around the outside, and you can absolutely not see anything because of the spray. And Aidan maybe losing out in that battle there in the McLaren, getting collected again. Jack Hickey is not having the Grand Prix he wanted.
Yeah, it's 2x2 Noah's Ark through this section. He's nerfed him round Jack Hickey. Kai has got a penalty for that cut in the corner after getting nerfed round by Jack Hickey. I think there may be a little stewards inquiry after that one. But They've all just about sorted themselves out. No, they haven't. Kai's still side by side with Dan. The court. That is the battle for P9 and 10. But we finished the first lap. Cam is leading, Softy second, and Casper is in third. Meanwhile, everyone else is still squabbling behind. And Machine Island pits early.
Yeah, I think he had damage from the battle with Luca at the beginning of the session. Yeah, it's a new front wing for the Red Bull driver Softy, 1.3 back. So in the early stages, at the moment, it seems to be that Cam has the advantage at this point in the Grand Prix. There shouldn't be a pit stop unless it's for damage. The wet should go the distance around here, unless I am mistaken. And the guys, Dan Morris and Dan the Man, they've made up 8 places from the beginning of this race.
Yeah, I think the wets can do the whole race. I think it's the inters that are a bit of an issue. They can't do the whole race. You have to make a pit stop now on those inter tyres. But the wets, I believe, should be able to do the whole Grand Prix. But we'll soon find out, as Casper is looking all over the back of Softy. And this is the battle for second and third place, as Softy is dropping back from Cam. And Wet Lemons is out of this Grand Prix already. And there's a safety car.
Well, that neutralises Cam's lead. That's 2.3 seconds before the safety car. That kind of neutralises him. Alistair picks up a time penalty for killing Dom Smith. Cam, he'll not be happy with that safety car. He was looking like in cruise control. Now the pressure on him to keep the tyres warm, keep the temperatures up and get going again. It's going to be very scary into turn 1 with those brakes being very cold when this race does get back underway. Hopefully it shouldn't be a too long safety car, as the guys at the back look like they're already catching up. So hopefully it'll just be 1 lap under the safety car.
We hope so. So here we are under the safety car now after Wet Lemons' accident at the exit of turn number 2. It looked like on the track map. Drive-through penalty for Cuman for speeding under the safety car. That's a bit of a slam dunk penalty and a bit docile from him. As we see, Softy, he was trying to fake people into the pit lane and nearly spun it after doing the fake. So yeah, the race has been neutralised. Everything's calm. Kai is pitted under this safety car as well. A few drivers have pitted. Court's pitted as well. I think drivers who maybe picked up a little bit of damage are using this opportunity to get their cars fixed under this safety car and get themselves ready to go to have a full attack behind the safety car when we resume with about probably 10 laps to go.
Kai's on the softs. I don't think that is the right call from Williams, and he will be straight back into the pit lane.
Yeah. Is he actually?
Yep.
Are we sure? Are we sure?
According to my screen and my eyes, he is on the soft tyres.
Can I? Oh, and he's spun. He's spun. Yeah. He's definitely on those soft tyres. I just couldn't believe my eyes, to be honest.
Well, that 1 lap safety car won't be happening now. And Machine Cuman's out. Oh, he's had a disaster. He's lost it.
Oh, God. Yeah, well, it's been an embarrassing return for Cuman, let's be honest, in this one. He's picked up a drive-through for driving too quickly under the safety car and now crashed under the safety car. That's a bit of a naughty one, and he'll be getting a telling off from Mr. Niels Vitic for that one.
Well, he'll be hoping that Ericsson was behind him there. Aidan Griffins, though, on his return to TGP1, he obviously came back last week, not being able to have the pace, obviously not being able to practice as much as previous seasons. He's up in P6, so it was a good start from him before the safety car came out, and he'll be looking to improve on that. He's right behind Phil Bargell, as Jack Kickey almost absolutely love taps Aidan out of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, he does indeed. So yeah, don't think the safety car will be in. We've got another lap under this safety car to sort themselves out. Must be a lot of well, they've had to clear out an extra car thanks to Cuman binning it under safety car. So that's probably extended this safety car period another lap that it probably didn't need to be. So we go round again under the safety car. Cam is your leader, Softy is second, Casper in third. We've got Matt Tibos in fourth and Phil Barger on fifth. Let's see the big movers and shakers here. Up 9 positions are Dan Morris and Dan the Man. They've made good ground as well as Neljak. He's up 7 from his starting spot. The big loser is Machine Island, down 13 after making that early pit stop on lap number 1, and he's got it all to do in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, Kai finally remakes it back to the pit lane. Alistair Bain, he did the exact same as Cumin. He binned it warming up his tyres in Sector 2. So that's another car for the guys, the marshals, to move. And Kai's back on them wet tyres, and he'll be very thankful for that. And he needs to get his batting gear and get back to the back of this pack so the safety car can end. Kai, he's going to be gutted. He had a 2.5 second gap to Softy, and his tyre temperatures have gone absolutely right out the window. And he'll be hoping for a good restart to try and regain that advantage over Softy that he had before the safety car came out on lap number 3. But it's just, it's such a snail pace, isn't it, under the safety car in normal conditions, never mind in the pouring rain.
Oh, and we're migrating host as Dom Smith has left the session, so well done. Bye, Dom.
He's had enough of the accidents and maybe not wanting to embarrass himself and put himself into the wall.
Yeah. Everyone seems to be very sedate. As I'm just making sure Softy is running around in higher gears. Just want to make sure that is actually the case, or is my game glitching out? I don't know what's going on. No, there is a car moving. Everyone's just driving in directly a straight line after Dom disconnected, so it had me worried. It had me worried, but the safety car is in this lap. There was a car moving in the background. I haven't had some weird server glitch or something like that you can get on these games. The safety car is in, so now we just wait for Cam to pull the pin out of the grenade and relaunch us into this Grand Prix.
He slows down the pack as much as he possibly can to try and get a good getaway as he picks up the pace towards the final corner. He will, maybe after the final corner, not want to give Softy any opportunity of an overtake into turn number 1. Using that brake pedal, just love tapping it slightly to put some heat into those wet tyres. They're going to absolutely be freezing. The brakes won't be warm at all. As we come round the final corner, when will Cam go? Probably when Softy is at his weakest in the corner. It seems to be now. What will Softy be able to do on the back of Cam into turn number 1? Cam seems to be okay for the moment. Up the hill they go, and it looks like Cam has survived the restart at the moment. Softy, Casper and Matt Tibbles and Phil Bargewell, it seems to be line astern for the restart.
Yeah, it seems to be line astern indeed. Softy is still in second place. Everyone's pretty much kept as they were. No meal dramas on this restart. Shield Island has made another pit stop, so something must have happened to him under that safety car. And Kai is right at the back of the field as well after that bold strategy call, shall we call it, where he went on to those soft tyres.
Yeah, a very bold strategy from Williams. Maybe not the best idea in the world. Dom Smith is back in the session. He's making moves, but Softy, he is so close to the back of Cam. This safety car could have spiced up the lead of the Grand Prix, but he's not going to have any straight line speed to battle. And he's actually lost time to Casper, who might try and make a move for P2. He is gaining on Softy, no DRS. Only battery available, and the straight line speed of the Aston Martin will help him survive for now.
Well, I don't think Dom's actually back in the session. I think that's his AI still that seems to be going quicker than everyone.
Oh.
Which is a bit strange. But we'll just ignore Dom. We'll pretend he's not there. I think that's the best way to deal with it. As we see, the top 3 are pretty much all cut. Well, the top 5 all separated by 6 tenths each from each other. The biggest gap at the moment is 9 tenths to Aiden in 5th and 6th. As we see, Phil Bardrow is now closing in on the back of Matt Tibos, riding on board with the Ferrari driver as he creeps his way through the carousel. Just got the penultimate corner to go, and Cam sets the fastest lap of the race as he closes in on the back of Matt Tibos. So he eases his way onto the throttle as Dom's car goes flying past. Wait, I'm not sure what's going on now, to be honest.
The game's bagged. it's decent. I'm a good 5 temps behind the action.
I
I'm not too sure what is happening at the moment. There's another safety car.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on either. Let's have a nose.
There seems to be a wee bit of an issue with Dom Smith's telecoms.
Yeah.
But at the moment, Dom Smith is probably the favourite to win the Grand Prix, and he's not even here.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I don't really know what's going on because I think it looks like everyone's AI apart from Dom on my screen. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on.
Well, when Calm set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, he was going through turn 19 on my screen.
Yeah, right. So some weird shit is going on. I think
there's only 2 people in the lobby, so I think there is an issue.
Yes. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. I think. Yeah. I'm going to end the stream then. Because something weird's happening.